Okay, so the weekend is here and rest is near. It's a Friday morning, Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. My name is Wale Scott. Welcome on the show. And I've got Mukhail Tinubu. Good morning, Mukhail.
Good morning, Wale.
We have a guest on the show later. Of course, we're working on that via Zoom. And of course, he's the Commissioner for Youth and Sports in Oyo State. We'll come to that later, okay? Now, the members of the Nigeria's African Cup of Nations 1994 winning team have a reason to smile after nearly 3 decades. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the allocation of the 3-bedroom flats promised to each of the players. The disclosure is coming from the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu. It's happening the same day the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, also approved the gifting of the building promised Nigeria's first Olympic gold medalist, Chioma Ajunwa. Mukhail, in the course of politicians doing their things, in the heat of the moment, they make these promises. You know, I've heard politicians promise that they will name streets after these players, name blah, blah. And at the end of the day, it doesn't happen. But eventually, now, 25 years after, promises fulfilled. You know?
It's interesting to me because I can only imagine how much value those properties would have accrued in 25 years if they had been delivered as at when promised. It's no less than the players deserve because they brought tremendous pride to the nation and they promised the future of sporting development. Also, interestingly enough, these politicians, they give each other, they name streets after each other all the time. They give each other's gifts on government and taxpayers' dime all the time. Yet it was so difficult at a time when I would say that this country was more prosperous. There was more financial capacity at that time. And yet in 1994, these players weren't gifted what they were wholly deserved to have been given.
Okay, we're still staying with that. Meanwhile, members of the Super Eagles who won the 1994 African Cup of Nations in Tunisia have shared their excitement after the president, Muhammadu Buhari, gave them 3-bedroom apartments 27 years after their triumph. Now, Buhari, through the senior special assistant on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, disclosed the news in a statement yesterday. Now, reacting to the news, the ex-Eagle stars said they were excited about the developments. A former interim president of DR Congo's Confederation of African Football, Constant Omari, has been banned from all football-related activities for the next 12 months. This is the culmination of a lengthy investigation into the terms of a revised television contract signed in 2016 between CAF and the French marketing company Lagardère Sports. A report by the New York Times last November had prompted FIFA to open a formal procedure in January. Now, the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, Amaju Pinnick, has commended the Oyo State government for remodeling the Lekan Salami Stadium at Damasigba in Ibadan. He noted that any investment in sporting infrastructure, as was being done by the state government, would make the state a destination for sporting activities and boost socio-economic activities. Okay, well, I don't know if we're joined yet with the Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Oyo State. We're not joined yet. His name is Oluwaseun Fakorede. He will be joining us later on the show. But I think renovation, building, restructuring of these things in the States are a good thing. I have gone to the Agege Stadium, and it's fantastic. You can actually sleep in the toilets. You can actually eat there. That's how good it is. And it's been like that for like 2-3 years now. And now the Lekan Salami Stadium is in Oyo State. And of course, it's been renovated to, well, world-class standard.
Well, never underestimate the impact that property development can have on a locality. The potential economic windfalls are as yet unknown.
We're looking at a stadium now, which, what's really, I was going to ask him this, but when he comes on the show, what impact will this do to football, to the 3SC, their state government-owned? What will it do for them?
Well, first of all, let's start from the beginning, the grassroots. Football, it will be easier for grassroots training in Oyo State with this new development. Players, young players, and even schools will be able to host sporting events at this stadium with capacity crowds available to them. And as for the 3SC, I don't think it can be understated the impact and the dignity of having a home stadium as well furnished, as well developed as this can afford them. And when you have a capacity crowd in there, you can have true home court advantage or home field advantage against your opponents. And if this development suggests if it can be taken to be an indication of where your state government's intent lies when it comes to sports and development in the state, then this only bodes well.
We have the commissioner for youth and sports. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
It's great to have you. Great to have you on the show, sir.
Yeah, same here, same here. Thank you very much.
Now, we're looking at the fact that Oyo State are doing a fantastic job, not only with the stadium now, in every sphere, but it's a sports program. So we're looking at the stadium this morning. Lekan Salami Stadium, what prompted the government to work so hard to make the stadium so attractive now?
All right, so, I mean, it's actually bold on number one, an opportunity, to get youth out of the streets. And then if we're looking at, possibilities of creating opportunities for youth to be taken out of the streets, then you have to put in some some necessary apparatus. I mean, the Oyo State government is doing so much, in agriculture, because, I mean, that's one of, the pillars of this administration. So another thing that, a lot of youths have been engaged, in agriculture, in commerce, and another thing that we can actually engage, our youths with is, sports. And we all know the economic, importance and significance of, sports if maximized to the fullest. So that was actually what prompted that, okay, we cannot say we want, great, what was it called, in sports, development, and then we don't have, necessary facilities, to actually help us, complement that. So we said, okay, let us, start, from somewhere. And that was why, the remodeling of, Lekan Salami, stadium, came to play precisely August, last year. And by the special grace of God, we are going to be commissioning that main bowl next month. And just like, every pictures and videos that, is all over the internet, today, I said, when we started that project, that it is going to be, by every sense, an international standard and facility. And that is what we have there. Sometimes, last week or 2 weeks ago, we had the NFF president, Hamadu Pinnick, visit the facility. And in his word, he said, I mean, this is undoubtedly and unarguably one of the best stadium that we have in Nigeria today. So it's really, really a big one. And we know that, by the special grace of God, this is definitely going to, contribute, to the economic, development, of the states. As we all know, the possibilities that we have in sports and the business of sport.
Okay, now if you are just watching the show, it's Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. We've got the Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Oyo State, Oluwaseun Fakorede. And let me mention to you guys that this is the youngest commissioner in Nigeria so far as we speak. Okay, now, you see, I'm sorry to say this, Commissioner, but I always ask the funny questions. It's convenient for Nigerians and the Nigerian government to build things. We can buy the most expensive things. Maintenance has always been our problem.
True. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to also say this, that, I mean, what we are doing there is because, we have an end goal in mind, and then we have, a plan. And the plan for that place is so that, you can actually contribute to the economy of the state. If we are investing billions of naira to bring up, that facility in that way, then it is not going to be wise, for us, to look, ahead, maybe, back in 2 years' time, and then we see that what we've expended billions on, it's not, the way it ought to be. So that is why, right from the beginning of this project, the sustainability angle, has actually been put in place to make sure that everything that we have there is thoroughly, maintained and sustained. Because it is not just that, we just want to build a beautiful facility or an edifice just to be able to score some, cheap political, goals. No, it is to serve the people and to contribute to the economy of the state. And anything that brings you money, anything that actually improves, the economy, you will definitely want to take care of it. So this is one of our babies. This is one of, the drivers to, that will drive, a better economy for the state. So whatever it takes, to be able to maintain this. And we are not just, we're not just interested, about, so we are not promising that, okay, everything that we are going to do there, it is going to be our administration, and when we leave, we cannot tell. We are also going to put down structures that it is going to be very, very hard for anybody to actually bring down, even when this administration, it's done with, with, a service. So the people that are coming, they will definitely meet a formidable structure that is not difficult to run, that is easy to run and to maintain. So that is, our goal, and that is what we are working with. I've had a lot of people say, especially on Twitter, that, it's not about building a beautiful stuff like that. And of course, we all know that there is always, this drawback, when it comes to the properties of the government, because, it's like, okay, nobody really cares, and, whatever happens to it, it's not, a big deal afterwards. But for a responsive and responsible government, that, look, this is the taxpayers' money. So, you have to be able to, take proper account, of it, and then to say that, look, whatever we've expended there, we have to, and one of the things that we even plan to do is to give people records that, okay, you remember when we started this project that, about almost 6 billion was expended on this project. So far, so good. At the end of the first year, this is what this facility has been able to bring as, an ROI, to the state, and that's where people would further, believe in the government, because what we see today is that, there's a strong trust deficit between, the government and the people. So when you want to say, okay, I'm expending so much money on a particular project, people feel that, maybe you just want to use that opportunity to embezzle funds, or you want to use that opportunity to just cut away. But when you give them reports that this is an investment, so this, huge amount of money that has been expended on this, just 2 years, just 3 years, down the line, we have been able to even recover ×2 or ×3. So by the time you come back again to say that, okay, this is the next project, we are doing, the people have the confidence that you are going to deliver, and not that you are only going to deliver, you are going to be accountable at every step to let them know what exactly you are doing.
My question now, before my partner comes and asks his question, is that you are the Commissioner for Youth and Sports. Now,
yes.
Building a new stadium, does that transform into ensuring that sports in Oyo State becomes great? First off, 3SC, the state's football club, of course. And of course, are we going to see Oyo State coming second or third, maybe in the sports festival in a few years to come? Since we have...
just like I said, in the history of Oyo State, this our recent outing at the National Sports Festival was the best that we've had so far. And a lot of people ask, me that what is the magic? What are we doing, differently from what has been done in the past? And I simply tell them that it is the ability to be more conscious and to be more available to the people. Now, when people see that, you are more, concerned about their welfare, they want to do better. And I tell people that, look, one of the strategies that we've employed, especially when it comes to administration here in Oyo State, is before we make the people touch the work, we first of all touch their hearts. So, I mean, that serves as a motivation, for them. So for all the players, one of the first things that we did is to make sure that all their, allowances, their dividends, their, their salaries, we met the backlog of, allowances that were unpaid. We made sure that we first of all dealt with that. So that is why in Oyo State, you can't have a situation, nobody can say, oh, they are building stadium, and the people are hungry. We're not building the stadium and then we are owing salaries. No. So all those things are things that have actually contributed, to the kind of, motivation that these people, work with. So that's why they can go, there and then, do their best to bring the best result. So by the special grace of God, Oyo State, we look forward to hosting, the National Sport Festival.
Amen.
Look at how 3SC is doing today. 3SC is on top of, their group today. And that has been, it has been a long time that, we really had that kind of record for 3SC. So things are really working, and it's our duty to just make sure that we institute, more facilities to actually back this up.
Commissioner, before we let you go, my partner has a question for you, and then we can let you go, sir.
Good morning.
We are very busy.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning, sir.
On this show, we often talk about the lack of investment in youth sports development in this country. I can only hope that this stadium is an indication of your intent to rectify those old misconceptions. Let's not call them misconceptions. So what I want to know is, how do you see this new stadium, this redevelopment, how do you see it fostering development of sporting events for the youth in Oyo State?
All right, so sincerely, just like I said, that this is just one of our approach, considering the bigger picture in our minds. So for all our youths, definitely what we have there, when you look at the history, I'm a student of history. When you look at the history, you see, the number of, talents that Oyo State has been able to produce nationwide and, globally. In tennis, in basketball, in football, in board games and all. So, and then when you now look at that, you look at the data, and then you see that at some point we started dropping, and you ask questions that what are those things that are responsible for this, decline? And those are the questions that we had to answer ourselves, and that was what gave birth to doing these things that we are doing. So I can assure anybody, and I'm not just assuring with people with just I'm assuring them with data that look, at the end of after the completion and the full running of this facility and this facility, and Adamasiba is not that's just one out of the many things that we are doing at the moment. It will interest you that we have 6 other mini stadia that we are actually that by the special grace of God is going to be commissioned on or before the year. I still, visited, the one in Ogumosho just yesterday. I see the level of work, that is, going on there. So there is no way this will not contribute to the development of the youth, because, most of the people that are going to be using these facilities anyway, they are our youth. So it is just to tell them that, look, there is hope again. There is future for that thing that you are doing. It's wrong, for us to have, youths that maybe they are good, with swimming, and then the state doesn't even have a proper, standard, swimming pool. So if we don't have those kind of facilities and arrangement for them, we cannot demand for them to be the best. Because when they go into competitions, they are perhaps going, to train with people that they are used to training, in Olympic standard facilities. And then these are people that they don't even the improvisation that we can actually give, it doesn't even meet, any standard at all. So doing all these things will significantly, boost their confidence, boost their morale to be able to represent us well, and this automatically will definitely bring significant economic returns to the state.
Commissioner, I want to thank you very much for giving us your time out of your busy schedule. We know how busy you are. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
God bless you.
Well, that was the Commissioner for Youth and Sports, or your state, Oluwaseun Fakorede, Honorable. And he spoke extensively. But I think he strikes me as somebody who actually, not only sports, now, he actually has the success of the future of the youth at heart.
Yes.
He sounds like that.
Yes, I honestly wanted to say congratulations on the ambitious nature of their intent with not only this stadium, but all the other projects they're clearly involved in. I look forward to him personally even kicking the first ball in the stadium and launching
and we'll be there.
And we'll be there.
We should be there.
We should. So.
Okay, now Miguel Almiron got a goal and an assist as Paraguay defeated Chile 2-0 in the Copa America on Thursday and confirmed their place in the quarterfinals. The result ensures that with one round of group games still to play, Paraguay qualify from Group A along with Chile. Argentina and Uruguay, Bolivia, who lost 2-0 to Uruguay earlier on Thursday, are eliminated. Brian Samudio gave Paraguay the lead after 33 minutes after heading in a corner from Almiron, who then completed the scoring with a penalty 13 minutes into the second half. Now, ahead of the Euro 2020 last 16 clash against Portugal on Sunday, Belgium stars Yannick Carrasco and Toby Alderweireld have been giving their thoughts on what they expect to be a close encounter. Belgium's centre entered the match as the world's #1 ranked side, but have never won a major international trophy, whereas Portugal are the defending European champions.
The game, nobody has an advantage. We are two good teams, and yes. In a game, also you see yesterday Hungary against Germany. It was a difficult game. You can say Belgium is favorite of Portugal. We need to play the game and watch after the game who go to the next step. Yes, are a lot of good players, young players, and Cristiano is the leadership of the team. But we have a good defense, good players, and we need to concentrate in our game, not how Portugal play. We need to play our game and try to win the game.
Yeah, I think they are a very difficult team to beat. They have a lot of quality. The team is very compact. They know how to play big games in big tournaments. A lot of experience as well. So I think we have to be top to beat them. Of course, everyone talks about Cristiano Ronaldo. We know he's one of the best in the world. But not only him, I think they have a lot of quality around him as well, who create chances for him. So again, we have to be top to beat them. I want to see it different. I think I can't talk how they feel, how they think. The only thing I can say is that we are very hungry. The desire is unbelievable with us to achieve big things for our country and for this team. So I think, again, we will do everything in our powers to beat them.
Okay, now, all talk, if you ask me. This team has got everybody, Alderweireld, Romelu Lukaku, Eden Hazard, Thorgan Hazard. They have all the names. They are ranked #1 in the world, and they have never won any major trophy. How can you rank somebody #1 in the world without trophies?
I think we've had this discussion.
Yeah.
That, Belgium, at least on paper, look like they can stand up to anybody. And when you see
on
them,
paper,
but
they have never won any major trophy.
At the same time, when you see them play up against the very best teams. When you compare them to the France and Germany and England, they look like they can do it all. They can switch up tactics on you. They can hold the ball and play it with the possession. They can counter, stay back and launch incisive counterattacks that pierce any defense. They have quality playmakers like Eden Hazard, De Bruyne, even Torgan Hazard has come of age really well.
Yeah.
My worry for this match for them is that I know I told you that I hold them to be favorites, one of the two favorites for this competition. But I worry for them because this match, they're going up against a team that has Ronaldo. And when you have a championship mentality player with the kind of leadership qualities that Ronaldo, it seeps into the rest
Thank
of the
you
team.
very much, Mukhail Tinubu. Okay, we had the Commissioner for Youth and Sports, or your state, on the show earlier today, Oluwaseun Fakorede. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. Join us same time next week, Monday, for Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. Same time, same station. My name is Wale Scott. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.